What if one political decision could push the entire world toward a major crisis? In early April 2026, tensions between the United States and Iran reached one of their most dangerous points in recent history. President Donald Trump issued a strong ultimatum to Iran, warning that if Tehran failed to comply with key demands, the consequences could be massive. His statements quickly went viral, not just because of their intensity, but because of what they could mean for global peace and stability. At the same time, Iran responded with equal firmness, refusing to back down under pressure. This situation has now become more than just a political disagreement. It is a global concern involving military power, energy security, and international diplomacy. To understand the seriousness of this moment, it's important to look at what Trump actually said. Reports indicate that he warned Iran that failure to reach a deal could lead to large-scale action targeting major infrastructure, including bridges and power systems. He also made dramatic statements suggesting that the consequences of escalation could be devastating on an unprecedented scale. At the same time, the United States maintained a strong military presence in the region, including warships, aircraft, and advanced weapons systems, signaling that these warnings were not just symbolic. This kind of messaging is often used to apply pressure during negotiations, but experts warn that such strong language can also increase the risk of miscalculation and escalation. However, this situation is not just about threats. It is part of an ongoing conflict that has already caused serious damage. Since late February 2026, tensions escalated into direct military confrontation, affecting multiple areas across the region. Oil facilities, military bases, and key strategic locations have all been impacted, and global markets have reacted strongly. One of the most critical developments was the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a vital shipping route through which around 20% of the world's oil passes. This single move triggered a surge in oil prices and raised fears of a global energy crisis, showing how a regional conflict can quickly affect the entire world. Despite the rising tension, a major breakthrough came when a temporary ceasefire was announced. In early April, the United States and Iran agreed to a 2-week ceasefire, largely facilitated through diplomatic efforts led by Pakistan. This agreement included reopening the Strait of Hormuz and beginning negotiations for a longer-term peace deal. Trump himself acknowledged that Iran had presented a 10-point proposal, which he described as a workable basis for negotiations. This marked a significant shift from pure confrontation to cautious diplomacy, giving the world a brief moment of relief after weeks of uncertainty. But even with the ceasefire in place, the situation remains extremely fragile. Reports suggest that both sides have different interpretations of the agreement, and tensions have not completely disappeared. In addition, regional conflicts, especially involving Lebanon, continue to complicate the situation, raising questions about how stable the ceasefire really is. Iran has also made it clear that it will defend its interests and respond strongly to any violation, while the United States continues to emphasize its red lines, particularly regarding nuclear development and security in the region. This creates a scenario where even a small misunderstanding could quickly escalate into a larger conflict. The global impact of this crisis cannot be ignored. The Strait of Hormuz remains one of the most important energy choke points in the world, and any disruption there affects fuel prices, trade, and economic stability worldwide. Even during the ceasefire, uncertainty has kept markets unstable, with oil prices fluctuating based on every new development. This is why countries around the world are closely monitoring the situation and pushing for peaceful negotiations. The stakes are simply too high for the conflict to escalate further. So where does this leave us? On one side, there is a powerful warning from the United States backed by military strength and strategic pressure. On the other side, there is a determined Iran, unwilling to give in without securing its own interests. Between them lies a fragile ceasefire, ongoing negotiations, and a world watching closely. The next few days, especially upcoming talks, could determine whether this situation moves toward peace or returns to escalation. At this moment, the future remains uncertain. This could be remembered as a turning point where diplomacy prevented a larger conflict, or as the beginning of something far more serious. The question is no longer just about the United States and Iran. It is about global stability, economic security, and the possibility of a wider conflict. What do you think? Is this just political pressure, or are we witnessing the early stages of a much bigger global crisis?